Hi, Maud here. Welcome again to another video by me. Today I want to take you through working with felt. That's my expertise. I've been a doll maker for 15 years. Many of you who follow me for already a long time know that I have been a doll maker, a professional doll maker. And I have always designed dolls and animals in felt. So working with felt is something I will do in my journal of patchwork and stitchery. And how I made this? Well, I designed it myself. I made a drawing and made a template and just cut this out by hand, and I will show you a little footage right now of how I did the eyes, because I used a felting needle and I dry felted some loose wool to get these more lighter spots on the deer. This was so much fun, and at the same time it was a big experiment because I've never worked like this. I mean, I used wool to embroider on this little deer, and what I used to do was just using the felt, which was beautiful in itself, but only using DMC embroidery floss and doing a lot of these blanket stitches all around. But it never came up. And also in the world of doll making back then, it was just the embroidery floss that we used by DMC because that's what we could get our hands on. I mean, I am talking I started in 1999 and was just learning then. And I started my business when my son was really young. And I left it 5 years ago. And we never worked with wool. I mean, now for the first time, I've used this this wool that we normally would use to mend socks, but you can embroider with this beautifully. And I would get these normally to use in my junk journals, and I am even guilty of throwing this out or making a separate spool out of it because I did not know what to do with it. But junk journaling has led me down a beautiful new road, and that's why I started doing all kinds of new things on this felt. I also want a couple of leaves here because in my original idea I would do some daffodils here, but the bright yellow of the daffodils, I'm not sure about that, but I do want some leaves here. And also I wanted to make some kind of embellishment on here with a couple of beads, but I guess I'm not doing that. I do want to make snowdrops here, like I did in the drawing. And the snowdrops I want to do with ribbon, with silk ribbon. I'm not sure if I've got white silk ribbon, and otherwise I will just try ordinary ribbon, small ribbons. I'm just going to try it. But for now I want to make these leaves, and for that I am going to use something that I never did in my doll making career, but something that I have now, and that is using these dies. If you want to work with felt, then these are no good, because these will cut through the felt and it will be too brittle. You won't be able to get it on the fabric without it tearing, because, well, felt is beautiful, but it will tear. And these are great because they don't tear the felt in the middle. There's just one solid piece. And also these, and although these are a little bit big, I mean, I could cut this leaf off and I could cut the leaves here. This perhaps is a little bit difficult, but if I put it on the felt, like just using this, it will be perfectly fine. And these are great too, because they will not, yeah, how do you call these? Ridges? They are just to make an indent, and these are much sharper, and you can also see it. But if you buy dies, it's often difficult to see, especially when you buy them online, if you get this one or this one. But these are great for paper. And the dies that I use for felt, I keep separate. So same as with scissors, I don't want to damage my dies if I want to use them for felt. Oh, and by the way, I did this also with with empty spool, with the wool. Yeah, it's sock darning yarn. That's what it is, darning yarn. But yeah, I love this. So this is done with wool in a stem stitch. And also, because I'm Dutch, I need to learn all the stitches, all the names of the stitches in English. So I am working on that, but sometimes I'm not there yet, but I will learn them. I was really happy with how this is going so far. And now I just want to show you the felt that I'm working with. This is hand-dyed felt by a lady in the Netherlands. And for the Dutch people, I will link down, will link a couple of stores where you can get this felt. And if you are in Germany, I know these stores also sell their felt to German people a lot, because there's a lot of German ladies coming here to the Netherlands for the doll making, the Waldorf doll making. And this is a beautiful roll of dyed felt. It did not work out perfectly, so I got it a lot cheaper than what it originally had to be. But if I just take out a piece in here, it is wonderful. And also the back side, it is lighter, but it's still wonderful. But because this roll did not work out like it was supposed to be, I got it for half price. I'm really happy that I kept all these bits and pieces all these years, and I kept them quite safe, so the moths, difficult word, moths did not get to them. I'm going to try out a couple of leaves, and then I will be back. And then I thought, why not show you how I do this? It's just the normal way that you would use your die cutting machine. It's like you would do with paper. So I have all the blocks on here. And I put this on the felt the way, yeah, you would use your dies with paper. And now I have the two leaves that I want. I don't want this third one, like I told you before, because it does not have this one, because if I cut it, it won't have the right shape that I like. But this is really nice. Let me do this once more. Sorry that I'm shaking the camera. And now let me try some different leaves. With paper, I would just roll it once a lot of times, but with felt, I find that rolling it twice gives a better cut. And obviously, these are not the kind of leaves that you would normally find, but a little bit of imagination is a wonderful thing, because I think it's all really fairy tale like what I'm doing. So I'm really happy to just do that. And I did not take these apart because every leaf is wonderful, and it's much more convenient for me to keep it like this. And I am cutting all the leaves because I could also use them in future projects. I'm afraid I've used this die for paper a little bit too often, because I said I am keeping them apart, but I know I've used this die for paper once or twice just because I wanted the leaves in paper too, but now it gets a little bit difficult to get them out of the felt. And these stems, I can show you. This felt is really strong, but even still, I can still tear these off. This is a little bit stronger, but I would have to do a wraparound stitch on this one. And also with this one, I'm not, let me just show you. You just tear this off. So that's the thing with felt. Even if you use the really strong felt like I have here, but just do a stem stitch and you have a wonderful leaf. I'm just going to use what I have here. I want another brown one, I think. Yeah. Oops. That's enough. What I also would like to show you is something that I will do for this project on different pages. And that's something that I did. Let me just put this one aside. Let me zoom you in a bit. This is done on an old handkerchief, and I did this a long time ago, and I've kind of painted on here really carefully, and I want to experiment a lot more in this journal. And I've used this die for all the little flowers in felt. And I also have this die for really small leaves. And well, this is a little bit difficult because again, you've got these that will tear out the felt, but these small ones are okay. And I'm keeping these separate just for felt. And I think I will throw in these two. Perhaps I do have to cut all the little stems, but for now it's okay. So these are the kind of things that I want to do in this journal also. Use the felt that I have, and also try to do some painting on the fabrics. But for now, back to the leaves on my page. Yeah, I will clean this mess up and I will be back. So what I will first do is put the leaves on here, and in my drawing I have 4 leaves, but I also have these daffodils that I told you that I don't want to do this time because I don't think the yellow color will look good on this page. So I will just audition some leaves in here. Because here in the Netherlands there are still dead leaves on the ground, I do like this shape a lot. Yeah, I'm really liking this. So I'm keeping these for future use. When I was a doll maker, I cut everything by hand. I made every single thing myself. Like this one I shown you before, all the little leaf elements. We did not use die cutting machines, but I'm so happy that I got to know die cutting machines. I really am. And how to... I have this beautiful thread that is a DMC. It is this one, so it's the 4065, and I had it on a spool, but I needed to get a new one. And I'm using 2 strands now. On the pin cushion I used just 1 strand. And I'm teaching myself how to do this just with 1 hand, but it's still a little bit difficult. Yeah, doesn't work. So what I want to do is just make a beginning. I was told to never use a knot, just make a couple of stitches. And I am going to embroider the veins in the leaf. I've done this so many times that I don't need to draw these on, but you could obviously with a little bit of pencil. So I've looked this up, and I think the thing that I'm using is a running stitch. No, it's not a running stitch. I have to look it up. I will put it in the screen for you, because a running stitch is just not going back, but yeah, I need to learn all these stitches. It's back stitching what I'm doing. Now I know. So I've got a couple of veins here in this leaf, and sorry, I think for future times I will do it in a single strand again, like I did here with the little deer. This was a single strand. And let me just finish this off and do the next one in a single strand, so I can look at the difference and find out what I like more. I will use this leaf because it's a similar one. And I can already tell that I like the single thread much better. So I will continue everything in a single thread, and I will just keep this because this is a journal of learning new things for me. And yeah, I want to keep all the mistakes. It's not a mistake, but it's learning. It's a learning process, and I want to keep that in here as well. I'm going to do stitches on these leaves all around, and I will also do a blanket stitch around these, and I will be back once I am going to attach them on here. And I just want to attach them with a few stitches so they remain really loosely. I will be back. I thought I'd show you how I do a blanket stitch on the edge of felt, because it gives it such a wonderful finish. It looks so much better than without. And I think I have done a million of these stitches already. Just to show you the difference between if you do a blanket stitch all around or if you just leave it like this. I like this a lot better, but that's just my personal preference. Obviously, this will take me hours instead of this just 5 minutes. Yeah, but I will do all the leaves like this. I have all the leaves embroidered and I have placed them on my work like I love them. Yeah, I'm not going to cover this up. There are some beautiful green little flowers in here that I might enhance with some French knots, I think. And yeah, keep the leaves on here because they look better on there. I'm going to attach these just with a few stitches. And for now, let me pin them in place. So that I don't lose them. Let me see if I like what I'm seeing so far. Yes. So I have sewn down the stems, and now I'm going to go in between the blanket stitches and just follow them with really tiny stitches that you won't even see. And this is now completely sewn on, but the next one I want to do differently. And let me just show you what I'm going to do with this one. I will sew it down the middle with just some really tiny stitches. So it is attached, but you can still flip up the leaf, and if you push it a little bit like this, it gives it a wonderful look. And I like both ways. So I am going to attach all the leaves, and then I will be back and experiment on the snowdrops. I have experimented with some cheap satin ribbon, and this is like an organza ribbon. I thought this was a better quality, but that did not work in the way I wanted it. It looks kind of okay, but it is horrible to work with, and it's a big mess on the other side. I have just a few bits of really silk embroidery ribbon, but I am going to use these because I'm not happy with these. So I'm going to put this aside. It was a nice experiment, but it's not working for me. So I want some snowdrops on here. And I think I'm going to first draw them in pencil with my examples here. Just a few sprigs so I know what I want. And I want some here as well. And some here. Now this is beautiful because I think it's hand dyed. I don't remember where I got this. I think I got it at a handcraft fair. And there will be one in May again in Zwolle in the Netherlands. And of course I'm going to go there. The difference between the real silk and the satin is that this is much firmer than this. So yeah, this will probably be much better to work with. I am nervous, so I am fumbling around. So with Saturn Embroidery, I'm sorry that I was out of frame. You put the needle back into the silk and you push it through. And if you don't push it through the whole way, it stays like this. And if I tear it the whole way, I can pull this back a little bit and then it looks like this. And what I could do, and it would save me a lot of ribbon, is oops. I did not work with silk ribbon a lot. I mean, I love it, but I am certainly no expert in doing this. I'm wondering if I really like it or if I should just take it out again and do stem stitches like I did here with green embroidery floss or with green wool even. Yeah, I'm no fan of this. There are a few knots in here because I've pushed the needle back on the silk. But I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to keep it, and I'm sure I can use it in a future project, but not for now. So much for silk embroidery. I'm not going to do that. I think I need a few lessons. Let me use the wool. Yeah, let me use this one. So I am going to embroider all the stems of the snowdrops with my wool, and then I will be back to do the flowers. I have experimented again with the big, I think this is satin ribbon. This is not the really expensive silk ribbon, but this works so beautiful for the snowdrops that I just wanted to show you. This is not easy pulling through, but it is doable. I told you it is not easy. And now I want the satin part on top. I'm stitching through the satin again and pulling it through, and not all the way. And like this, I think they make beautiful snowdrops. I am going to put green caps on there, and for that I will use embroidery floss again. But now let me just put the snowdrops on here. Yeah. Oh. I think this is difficult because it's going through the embroidery of the doily underneath. Yeah. Perhaps I should get a bigger needle. Maybe that makes my life easier. And again, no, it won't. But let me make sure that I'm not going through that embroidery again of the doily. Oh, look at these. They're so beautiful, I think. So this is not the way to do it properly, but it works. So if you don't have silk ribbon and you do want some flower making with ribbon, you could use the satin ribbon, I think. At least that's what my experiment is showing now. It's just a little bit harder, and why won't this go through? Oh, but look at them. Aren't they just beautiful? At least I think they are beautiful. Now let me tie it off. Oh yes, I love them. Bit messy on the back, but I'm okay with that. And now I want some green. I've got some green left here. And I'm going to use my thread double. Let me see about the green. I think I will just do a satin stitch. Well, that makes it look even more like a snowball. I'm going to do all of them like this, and then I think this front page is done. Oh no, I wanted to do some French knots in here as well, but I could go on and on and on, I think. But yeah, I'm really liking the snowballs like this. I hope you do too. I will be back to show you the end result of this front page. Well, this is my finished title page. I did do a couple of French knots in here using a golden yellow, because at first I wanted to place daffodils in here, but that yellow was too much. But I did want to put some yellow in there. And I'm really happy myself with how this turned out. I also really like the snowbells. They're one of my favorite flowers, and they're about to come out now here in the Netherlands. Really looking forward to seeing them again. And my next page, I think, will be I'm not sure yet. You will see that in one of my next videos. Bye bye for now. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again really soon. Bye bye. Mwah.